When working with certain kinds of numerical data, you may run into a situation where you need to change all the values in a range by the same amount. Maybe the data here in columns B through F, this data right here, was calculated incorrectly. And it turns out that all these numbers are off by 5. We'd like to bump them all up by 5, increment them. One way to do this, and not too efficient, would be to create formulas here in kind of a shadow way and then copy those results up here. But there's a much faster way to do this. If the incremental factor is the same, suppose in this case it's 5, let's put 5 into an empty cell here and then copy it. Right-click copy, Control-C, whatever. And then select this data and use Paste Special. Now you can press Control-Alt-V. That's a fast way to get there. And what do we want to do here? Add. You can either click it and then click OK or simply double-click it. Keep an eye on a couple of numbers. They're all going to be bigger by 5. We can get rid of the 5 now. We don't need it. Now, a downside for some people will be there is no formula here at all. That's a plus for a lot of us. We don't want to see formulas unless we have to. We've incremented all these values by 5. They're all bigger by 5. We don't have any paper trail of what they had been, but it surely didn't take us very long. And of course, this could have been a much larger range as well. Now, how about a situation where maybe you're speculating about these entries here, you've got another copy somewhere, so you'd like to see these numbers projected for next year, maybe 10% bigger, or any percent you want, of course. So what would we do with these mathematically? We would want to increase these by 10%, or another way to say it, let's multiply them by 1.1. So just click an empty cell somewhere, put in 1.1, right-click and copy this, or Control-C, highlight the data in question. The standard way might be right-click, Paste Special, do it that way too. And what are we going to do here? We're going to multiply right there. Keep an eye on a couple of those. You know, the 30s are going to become 33s. You can see those. The others, of course, will adjust too. There we go. And of course, the real totals aren't emerging unless we go to the Home tab and perhaps use the comma button to expose that. But we have incremented them all by 10%. This one had been a 30, this one had been a 30, and so on. This one had been a 40. So it's a good, quick way to change totals without needing formulas. And you can imagine another use of this, perhaps in a list like this. We simply want to change all these salaries by 500. Put 500 into a cell, right-click and copy it, select all this data here. One quick way would be hold down the Shift key, double-click the bottom edge. Now what? Right-click, Paste Special, and add. There we go. We bumped them all up by 500. Get rid of this. Again, no formulas, no paper trail. It's done. Fast and easy without formulas.